and gentlemen, welcome to Supernatural Selection. I'm your host, Kevin the Bastard. With me this week are Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how you doing?
I have recently become unplagued, as in I've recovered from COVID. Very mild case, thankfully.
Yeah, thank God.
Caught while at Dragon Con. Surprisingly being around like 50,000 people has a high chance of catching a plague. So, who would have thunk it?
And I'm shocked I wasn't the one to get it.
Yeah. And, we shared a room and a couple of car drives. And
and I never got it. Yeah.
So.
And also with us is Mr. David Davis. David, how are you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. I just got back from Clerks 3.
Awesome. Enjoyable?
Yeah. I think it's, if you're a fan of like Kevin Smith, it's a fun one.
I'm a fan of the Clerks movies, I'll say that.
What about Dogma?
Okay, yeah, Dogma as well.
Okay, there you go.
Because, it's got a shit demon. You can't turn down a shit demon. Mm-hmm. So, this is, first off, thank you everyone for your patience. We were out due to Dragon Con and Mike's illness and me being run down after the convention. So, we are back. And we are at the top of our game, and we are going to be talking, before we even get started.
Awful bold claim there, Cotton.
I know. But we are back, and we're going to be talking about local cryptids, like we said we would the last time we did a Week in Weird. And I am going to go ahead and start it off. I think we've all got something chosen. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to start off. I originally was going to do this one about a Mississippi Bigfoot, and I realized, I've talked about Mississippi Bigfoot a bit, and I don't really want to talk about the skunk ape or Mississippi Mudfoot. And I found something that, unless you're a fan of Willie Morris's books, you may not have heard this story. The Witch of Yazoo City. So this story takes place in 1884. There was a old woman that on nights would lure fishermen and sailors into her home along the Yazoo River and poison them with arsenic and then bury them on a densely wooded hill. And the thing says this was her hobby, but
it's queen shit.
What's that?
Queen shit. It's queen shit.
Queen shit, yes. But although I don't even know what that means.
It means she being a queen.
Oh, okay. Yes, queen.
Yep.
All right.
That's it.
Okay, so in 1884, a boy named Joe Bob Duggett, this is in Mississippi already, heard someone screaming, and when he went and peeked in the windows, he saw two men drop dead on the floor, and the witch starts doing like chanting and waving her arms around and dancing and doing these horrible incantations and everything. So he jumps on his raft and floats back down to Yazoo and tells the sheriff what he saw. And they all run up there, and inside the house is a bunch of half-starved cats and just the skeletons of the two dead men.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they hear something outside, they run out, and the woman is running off into the woods cackling like a maniac. And they finally catch up with her because she has become stuck in quicksand. Now, Mike, you and me were talking earlier this week about the fact that we both thought quicksand would be like a way bigger deal.
Yeah, both quicksand and what was the other thing?
Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda Triangle, yeah. Both of those things, growing up, seem like they'd be big impediments to our, everyday lives, and not really.
Yeah, no, they really didn't factor into anything in my life except for this podcast. So, anyway, she's sinking in quicksand, and before her horrid, warty head goes below the surface, she screams, "I shall return. Everybody always hated me here. I'll break out of my grave and burn down the whole town on the morning of May 25th, 1904. So it's 20 years.
Okay, so first of all, that is a lot to say as you are drowning.
I know. I thought
Quite
that.
the mouthful.
It really is.
Now, did she spit while she was doing that? Like just spitting up sand as she was doing that?
probably, I kind of picture it being like Khan as he's dying, from hell's heart I stab at thee. Yeah. So, anyway, she goes down, they end up fishing the body out, and they bury her. But to make sure she doesn't, everybody's superstitious back then, so what they do is they fucking chain her grave closed.
Fuck
with
yeah.
3 huge chains in, let's see, Glenwood Cemetery in Yazoo City. So everybody kind of forgets about it for a while. And then, on the morning of May 25th, 1904, I'm going to quote the Willie Morris story. Miss Pauline Wise was planning her wedding. As she entered her parlor to show her visitors some gifts, she discovered a small blaze. Suddenly, a strong wind, unusual for that time of year, spread the fire to the adjoining house. So, basically, this small fire, it kind of acts like the Great Chicago Fire in that it burns down most of the town of Yazoo City 20 years to the day. So, and the wind was, like they said, unseasonable. Now, the next day after the fire, elder citizens go down to the graveyard and they find that the woman, that the witch's grave has been opened and the chains are broken.
Fuck yeah.
And to this day, they will still come out and replace the chains every few years. You can actually go to Greenwood Cemetery in Yazoo and see the witch's grave.
Now, why do you have such a strange place like Yazoo? What sort of name is that anyway?
That is a tribe of Native Americans. The
Okay,
Yazoo
well now
tribe.
I sound racist.
Well, it's an odd name, but yes.
Okay.
And also, if you've ever seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, they mention Yazoo City in the movie.
Oh.
I'm forgiven. I'm even forgiven for that, what was it, that Piggly Wiggly I knocked over in Yazoo. So, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was a fun one that didn't have to
that's
do
cool.
with Bigfoots, and it was like really, more paranormal and spooky.
It'd make for a fun movie.
Yeah, no, I don't know why no one's done one about it.
I like it.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's mine. Who wants to go next? Mike? David?
Mike was the first to make some sort of noise, so
Okay,
he's
Mike.
Damn
next.
it. I'm by default. Okay, so I had a couple of, I'm originally from Louisiana, born and mostly raised there.
Yep.
And
Metairie, right?
Metairie, yes, New Orleans suburbs. And I had a few I could choose from, more than Kevin did.
Oh yeah, no, I had to dig.
So apparently there's like some Louisiana Thunderbird sightings. Chose not to go with that.
Which is cool, though.
There's the quite a few other things like the Rougarou, which chose not to talk about that.
That's basically a bastardization of the term loup-garou, which is French term for werewolf.
Yes, it's just a werewolf running around somewhere.
It's basically Cajun for loup-garou, so rougarou.
There's the Grunch. Not going to talk about the Grunch, which I just found out about
I
while
wish-
researching this.
I wish it was.
That was a fun period of the 90s.
Yeah.
I wish it was Captain Grunch.
But I'm going to talk about the Honey Island Swamp Monster.
Oh yes, please do.
It's basically a Cajun Sasquatch.
Sorta.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the Wikipedia article describes
Okay.
it as.
All right.
But it's purported to inhabit the Honey Island Swamp in the St. Tammany Parish. If you know anything about Louisiana, St. Tammany is just north of what's the north area above Lake Pontchartrain.
Right.
Just to the, so it's on Lake Pontchartrain, above Lake Pontchartrain. It's also to the east of the Causeway Bridge.
That's a big long one that
yeah.
was terrified of.
That's the one that spans the Lake Pontchartrain, and it's also the longest single span over water
Oh,
continuous span. Because there are longer bridges, but they usually go over smaller islands and stuff like that.
And this is this is just straight over water. We have a friend that's terrified of open water, and he freaked the fuck out.
No, it's look, it's long enough that you're in the middle of it. You really can't see much of either shore.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So anyway, so in this area, very swampy, which pretty much all of Louisiana is swampy.
I guarantee.
Let's be honest. So it's alleged the Honey Island swamp monster is alleged to be a large bipedal humanoid, roughly 7 feet tall, covered in hair, obviously.
Right.
But the alleged origins of it are quite weird.
Okay.
In that it was alleged that a traveling circus coming through the area lost some chimpanzees, and they naturally crossbred with the alligators to create the Honey Island swamp monster. Naturally. Because that's what's going to happen. You let chimpanzees out, they're just going to fuck the alligators and crossbreed some goddamn monsters.
This is like that Kids in the Hall sketch. We took a pig and a cow that were only mildly drugged and then forced them to do what eventually came naturally. Oh my God.
So, can't just have a normal Bigfoot. It has to be a hybrid,
Monkey
chimpanzee gator thing.
Why don't they just call it the
covered
monkey
in
gator?
fur.
That is such a cooler name.
The
Gatorfoot.
Honey Island monkey gator.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So, it's one of those things that's just been vaguely seen, and there's always a bipedal humanoid.
Yeah, but I love the
hominid.
fact that the origin of this one, unlike, say, the Poplick monster or the Jatakawa creature I was going to talk about, which also involves a circus, it's usually like a train derailed and it ran off into the woods and it happens to be 500 years old. This involves, like, breeding stock. Enough chimps and gators to propagate a species.
Yeah.
I like it. And I really think it should be the Honey Island monkey gator.
So apparently this Wikipedia article claims other terms for it are Rougarou, Louisiana Wookiee, and the Thing.
Louisiana Wookiee. I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's all I had.
oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, it's neat.
Yeah.
It's something I didn't know about much. I mean, here's the thing. I'd heard about Honey Island, but I'd never heard about the Honey Island swamp monkey gator thing. So that's cool.
There you go.
Yeah. So, David, what have you got, buddy?
Well, I've got a story, but first I have a joke for you.
Okay.
What is a Cajun werewolf's favorite treat?
I don't know. What is a Cajun werewolf's favorite treat?
Andouille sausages.
No. God damn it.
My wife is playing Breath of the Wild behind me on the couch, and she just shook her head with the most disgusted look on her face.
You deserve it.
Yeah, that's quite deserved. Let her know she has
man.
good taste.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently you have good taste, Holly.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I've got another, Sasquatch sighting in my area. This one is late as 2008.
Okay.
And it's not even really a sighting, but it is the most recent one that they have. And this is probably about a 40-minute drive from me at most.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the observation and then the follow-up investigation.
Okay.
Okay. Observed. I was camping with my wife and friends from the 23rd to the 24th of August, 2008. My wife and I shared a campsite, and our friend shared a campsite with 2 tents on a second campsite about 50 feet away from us. I had drank no alcohol before going to bed, so I slept fairly lightly.
Okay.
I awoke at 4:50 a.m. Just as I awoke, I heard a loud sound that seemed to be someone hitting a tree trunk with a large branch. I lifted my head in the tent and looked around for any light sources and saw none. I also heard no voices. I was intrigued enough to continue listening. Our closest neighbor had a Dachshund, and the next closest to us had 2 larger dogs that were tied up outside their tent. Once I heard the first sound outside, the dogs started moving around, but didn't bark. They made some moaning sounds, but that's all.
Okay, I just pictured the dogs going, oh.
From what I can tell, as far as sounds, something or someone walked through the campground from lower to higher through the ravine. It had very heavy footsteps. It sounded like it broke fairly large branches on the ground. Once it crossed the campground's asphalt, the neighborhood dogs started crying, whimpering, and moaning. I then heard what sounded like a rock or something similar being thrown against a tree near our tent and falling to the ground. Right at the crescendo of the crunching branches, I decided to get up and unzip our tent window, and at the same time, the tent owners of the dogs opened up and a woman came out and grabbed the dogs to quiet them down. That was the last I heard of the crunching footstep sounds. Also, there had been crickets making noise all night until this event. Once this started, the cricket noises reduced to only crickets at a great distance. By the end of the incident, there were no forest sounds at all. All right. The next morning, we walked over to the ravine that I had thought I had heard the biped walking through and found no footprints due to the extremely dry ground. I spoke to a family right next to the ravine, and they had heard nothing that night, but had heard footsteps the night before. Ooh. The husband, father, is a hunter and told me that he had seen bears 2 or 3 times in the past in those mountains, but had never seen them down in the campgrounds in that area. Mountain lions are fairly common in those mountains, but what I heard seemed to be heavier than a mountain lion, plus whatever animal I heard sounded like it had 2 feet as opposed to 4. I later found out that one of our friends had heard footsteps around his tent at 4 a.m. He thought it was our other 2 friends camping with us playing a joke on him. So that's the report that the person made.
Okay.
That what they observed. Obviously, there's a lot of potential explanations for it here.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, the cricket stopping this is all very typical of your Sasquatch sightings from everything I've read.
Yeah, especially like the hitting the tree with the large branch.
Which I'm always just like, I've never understood that. Like a Sasquatch with a stick just hitting a tree. Is it like trying to sing? Is it like trying to get a beat going?
It might be kind of like a warning or something.
Okay, I never thought
I don't
of
know.
that.
I don't know. We'll have to like dive into Sasquatch behavior at some point.
Yeah.
So here's the follow-up investigation report by BFRO investigator Richard Hucklebridge.
Oh, BFRO. Okay.
Yeah. So again, about our investigator here, 4 years in the United States Navy, 37 years in the aerospace industry.
Oh, wow.
And he was a reserve deputy sheriff for the county of Los Angeles.
And
so
what was this guy's name again?
Richard Hucklebridge.
Okay, I was just trying to figure out if he was on the panel me and Mike attended.
Okay, so I'm just going to read his report. It's a brief one.
Okay.
On the evening of the 9th of September 2008, DN called me and we went over his recent report in which the witness seemed credible and believable in his rendition. During this incident, the witness didn't want to wake his wife up because she would have freaked out and probably caused them to leave the area. I did ask a couple of questions that were not clarified in the report. First, did you smell anything out of the ordinary? No. Second, did you hear the bipedal footsteps and or did you also feel anything that came through the ground? The witness just stated that he only heard the bipedal footsteps and he never felt anything, probably because he and his wife were on an air mattress. Also asked if he had any strange feelings while this possible creature was in the area. He did state that he believed this thing stayed in the area for at least 1 hour because of how the dogs in the camping area were acting and how long the crickets were quiet. The witness did stay awake until the sun came up. The closest the footsteps got to his tent was about 40 and 50 yards away. Per DN, his friends had something similar happen to them 1 or 2 mornings later around 4 a.m., same campground. The incident is consistent with other late night or early morning campground encounters with this creature. Also of note, besides the Lake Hemet incident, which is about 9 miles south of this campground, which is what I talked about last time.
Right.
There was recently a sighting in a trailer park located off the southeastern side of the Yucaipa area, which is about 25 miles as the crow flies and 30 miles through the mountains. So that's his report. I just like, I appreciate that he is as the crow flies.
Yes. Well, obviously, you have to have that in there. You're not a professional investigator, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't really think this was probably an actual encounter.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, it's just, it sounds like probably it was bears or mountain lions.
With a stick.
Well,
And throwing rocks.
here's the thing. I don't, if they would have recorded the stick thing, like maybe that would have helped. But honestly, like the sticks could have just been like, for example, a bear on a log, and as the log shifts, another stick is hitting it or something like that. I'm feeling kind of skeptical on this one.
Okay, Mike.
It's always just, I don't know.
It's
hard to
always
tell.
a bear.
No, I mean, it could be, any number of things.
Well, I think we see where I'm leaning on this one.
Now here's the thing. This area currently has gone through a very massive wildfire, so if Sasquatch did exist there, he's probably dead now.
God damn it, it's like Mount St. Helens all over again.
Yeah, just if any of the big feats were still around in the area, they aren't now.
Well, here's a
Crispy
question.
foot.
What's that, Mike?
Crispy foot.
Ooh,
Now I want KFC.
Yeti meat.
Yeah. Here's a question. I don't know if you have the answer to this. Maybe you can look into it some other time. Is the Hemet area known for UFO activity?
I've not heard too much on UFO activity in Hemet, but like Southern California has its UFO incidents, particularly because I'm probably about 30 minutes from March Air Force Base, which is it was a major Air Force base in World War II. And obviously during World War II, there were a lot of like UAPs and UFOs and that sort of thing.
Right, yeah. Which I think we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
With the subject, but yeah.
Yeah, also March Air Force Base is haunted.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, the Air Force Base where there have been some UFO sightings in that area. It's also haunted. They did a Ghost Adventures episode there.
And it's surrounded by Bigfoot.
Apparently.
Okay, well,
so.
there you go, guys. Try storm that one. It's probably less guarded than Area 51.
It's a cool place because it's an air museum. So they have all of the planes throughout history there, and it's cool to like be able to go right up to a bomber and just like stand underneath it. And
oh, sure, Mike.
And there was even
like that, right?
There was even a cockpit
Probably, yeah.
you could sit in.
A what? A
A
cockpit?
cockpit. Yeah,
Ooh.
to a jet. You can actually sit in the cockpit of the jet.
See, me and Mike actually went to a airfield one time here in town and got to see. Was that a flying fortress we saw? Mike?
Yeah, it was a B-17 and a B-25 Mitchell. It was the not
yeah, it
the
was pretty badass.
Hell yeah.
was it the Confederate thing or is it something else? I'm trying to remember if it was which
I don't know.
because there's a couple of groups that operate planes like that and fly
right,
around.
yeah.
I know one of them's like Confederate Wings or something like
Which
that.
that's real unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. But,
Because
the
I'm
other
sitting
one
here
is,
going, I don't think the South had flying fortresses during the
that's just
war
what they call
between the
themselves.
states. Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pre-digital camera days, so I
Yeah.
have like a bunch of film pictures from it.
Ooh,
Oh, that's cute.
We should scan those.
It should. Yeah.
I've
Hell yeah.
got my scanner. All right. Well, that's our local stuff. I'm glad we all found something. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't. Oh, I do have to ask, Mike, David, both of you. Do you think yours are ghost monkeys?
Ugh.
God damn it! You don't have
Yeah,
to react
no.
like that every time. It's a ghost bear.
Yuck, ghost monkeys.
All right. Well, I've got another story that is unrelated to local stuff that I found. And I think this is just interesting. Mike, you'll probably find this interesting too. And I'll just go ahead and read the article since it's relatively short, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. This is from USA Today, believe it or not. Semi-reputable news source. Student finds 1.8 million year old tooth, one of the oldest signs of hominins outside of Africa. Archaeologists in the nation of Georgia last week, which I misread that as state the first time I read this and got real confused. The nation of Georgia last week discovered a tooth belonging to an ancient human species believed to be around 1.8 million years old. The molar was found by a research student at the Orozmani dig site, dated between 1.77 and 1.84 million years old in the Caucasus region.
The white person region.
The white people region. It's one of the earliest signs of hominins outside of Africa. He showed the tooth to the team from the Georgian National Museum leading the dig. Quote, "Then we contacted our paleontologist and he confirmed it was a hominin tooth." Giorgi Kopoliani, an archaeologist with the Georgian National Museum, told USA Today. Okay, I'm just going to summarize. Basically, this is a fairly big deal because, most of our ancient ancestors were believed to have been in Africa around that time, and we're just now starting to find evidence of different hominin species being outside of Africa. A good example being, while the remains found in Georgia are still believed to be the oldest found outside of Africa, researchers in China found stone tools dating 2.1 million years old that could indicate an earlier hominin presence there.
Yeah, so this isn't contradicting the idea that the hominids originated in Africa. It's more they left Africa far earlier than we anticipated.
Yeah, and one of the things I've read is that this could just be proof of several waves of migration out of Africa over the history of the various species. So, yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a neat thing. Mike, what have you got?
So my other thing, which I don't have open for some reason.
My God, what's happened to us? 2 weeks
you had
off.
One job.
I was spaced out, man, I tell you. Well, speaking of spacing out, apparently the war in Ukraine is shaking things up because Ukraine's astronomers keep seeing UFOs, like a lot of them.
Yeah.
But, probably just spy planes or drones or something. But
here's the thing. Hey, go ahead.
No, what are you going to say?
Oh,
sure thing.
I was just going to say that war, and it may just be because there's more attention being paid to the sky in modern war. With the Foo Fighters in World War II, and no, I'm not talking about the band. During armed conflict, there's always an increase in UFO sightings, and I don't know if it's because there are more there because they're observing, or if it's because people are paying more attention to their surroundings. But during the Afghani conflict and Iraq, there were a lot of UFO sightings.
Yeah. So, but I would say, there probably are a lot more people watching the skies during times of conflict like that because, bombs and planes and other things. And, there's also, during conflict, there's a lot more shit in the air. Normally it's, just commercial airplanes and things like that. But, during a conflict, especially a modern conflict where you have a lot of, unmanned aerial vehicles of different calibers, different functions,
Probably a bunch of them that are also top secret that have functionality we don't even know about.
I'm sure Russia's deployed its, super secret, drones to try to gain the upper hand.
It's literally just like a drone that you could buy at a gas station with like a pistol taped to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of their situation right now.
It's fucked, man.
Russia has been found out to be just buying commercial DJI drones and shipping them to their troops.
That's insane.
Pretty soon they're going to start flying kites with like razor blades on the tail.
No, they've got like survivor knives, and they like pull a string and it just like drops the knife and they hope it hits someone.
They tie a grenade to a canary and let the canary fly over.
Oh God, the poor bird.
Well, no, the grenade will, the bird will pull the pin. They'll train the bird to pull the pin.
Oh, okay. That's so much better. All right. Oh my god. Well, here's the thing about the UFOs. There's a lot of talk about it, obviously, on the UFO UAP subreddits in general. But a lot of people are saying it's the aliens coming to watch the end of civilization. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, like, if
Like,
so,
how would they know?
What's that?
Like, how would the aliens know it's the end of the civilization? Because we've come much closer than
Oh,
we have
I know.
now.
I know. The nukes, for instance. But, I mean, just in general, yeah, no, the aliens would, yeah. I just think they're like, ooh, look at that. What if it's tourists? Mm-hmm. Here we see the natural preserve of our ape creatures. As you can see, they like to kill. I don't know.
They're taking bets on it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm also in general excited how much the UFO UAP thing is in the mainstream these days. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of nice because for a while it just kind of like disappeared. And honestly, I'm gonna give a lot of that credit to Tom DeLonge.
Oh yeah, let's give it up for Blink 182.
Yep. Tom DeLonge has actually done a pretty good service to the UAP and UFO community. So
Yeah, Mike, you already said your thoughts on that, right?
Well, sort of, but further in the article, they talk about how they use two observatories that are usually tasked with looking for meteors and asteroids and stuff like that, about 75 miles apart, and using it, they classified using cameras. Obviously, they classified objects into two categories: cosmics and phantoms.
Ooh.
Cosmics are luminous objects that are brighter than the background of the sky, and phantoms are dark shapes with darker contrast than the background.
So basically, you're two types of UFOs: your glowers and your silver things.
Your showers and your glowers.
Yeah. Oh God. Yes, that's it exactly.
But they
it's
said,
pretty badass though. I
Yeah.
like that categorization.
I know it's like Autobots and Decepticons.
they said that I don't know how fast 3 to 15 degrees per second is in this context, but they said phantoms are observed in the troposphere at distances up to 10 to 12 kilometers. Estimate their size between 3 to 12 meters and speeds up to 15 kilometers a second.
Wow.
So
Pretty fast.
it's
Well, it's faster than me.
that's what times 60. That's like 100 kilometers an hour ish.
Okay.
Math.
Which is about 150 miles an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like a
that's within military drone speeds.
at least the speed of a Veyron.
Definitely faster than most birds,
Okay.
especially an unladen swallow.
Yes. Indeed.
Or an
Even if it was,
unladen canary.
especially if it was carrying a coconut.
Or a grenade carrying canary.
Canary.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So the easy explanation would be that these are missiles or rockets or something else associated with the war, but the scientists insist that their nature is not clear.
Okay. Well, I like when a scientist is like, we don't know.
Well, that's kind of the whole science shtick, isn't it? Though,
Well,
unless
it's
they have
supposed to be
definitive proof,
right, and
they can't say.
Good on them for going with I don't know what the fuck I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't try to jump to conclusions, but I tend to pick what I think fits the data most.
Occam's razor.
Yeah.
Well, also, it's a jump to conclusions, Matt. Damn it. Fuck that up.
You fucked it up.
I ruined our whole show.
We're keeping it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that one, Mike. I'm glad somebody brought that up because I've been excited about that topic. Mm-hmm. So, David, what have you got?
I have two potential articles. I'm probably going to go with the one that connects more to your story, Kevin, about the grave and the chain and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I do want to mention the other article was Shaquille O'Neal explaining why he thinks the Earth is flat.
Man, fuck you.
That was one of the articles I was considering, but instead I'm going to talk about this vampiric grave.
Oh yeah, I remember this, but I just want to go on record and ask, what the hell's wrong with the NBA? That there are so many flat earthers in it. You run around with a round thing in your hand
for
the court's
a flat.
living. Motherfucker,
a good court is flat.
Motherfucker, technically it's not.
Well, from their perspective.
Sure, okay.
And besides, they're taller, so they can look further along the horizon and see, oh, hey, it doesn't curve. So,
are you saying NBA players are more likely to see the truth?
I'm saying that they're more likely to not get as much oxygen because of their height.
Oh, God damn it. Okay. That reminds me of something I want to bring up after we're done with the stories and before we go into everything else. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
So I've got this article. It's from September 5th from the Metro in the UK. Medieval vampire unearthed with sickle across her throat to stop her rising from the dead. Which is like hardcore. It's awesome. You hear about this thing a lot, actually, with about civilizations that have like vampire or reanimants and that sort of thing. They do these like little traps and everything like that. Like usually they behead the thing, but I like that they set a booby trap here.
You describe it, and I'm like, what metal album cover is that?
Right, and I'm just going to go ahead and like skim the story and kind of give you the highlights of it. We'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah.
But the extraordinary remains of a supposed vampire, vampire in quotes, have been uncovered at an archaeological site in Poland. Experts found the female body with a sickle across its throat, pinning it to the ground.
Yikes.
Quote, the sickle was not laid flat, but placed on the neck in such a way that if the deceased had tried to get up, most likely the head would have been cut off or injured, explained Professor Darius Polinsky from the Nicholas Copernicus University, which is, that sounds like an alchemist university.
It really does.
The body was found during an archaeological work at a 17th century cemetery in the village of Pien in southeastern Poland. So this is like Witcher shit.
Oh, wow.
So according to the university team, she had a silk cap on her head indicating high social status and a protruding tooth. Strangely, one of her toes was secured with a padlock.
That's bizarre.
Right. Well, and you'll find these weird little cultural practices regarding the undead, like like is padlocking a toe any weirder than like beheading the corpse?
Probably not.
Or putting coins on the eyes or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting that we talk about like, the padlocking the toes, because they do have like an explanation for that here.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So Professor Polinsky explained to the Daily Mail that padlocking the big toe on the skeleton's left foot likely symbolized, quote, the closing of a stage and the impossibility of returning. He added, quote, ways to protect against the return of the dead include cutting off the head or legs, placing the deceased face down to bite into the ground, burning them, and then smashing them with a stone.
That's a lot.
Right, yeah, like, well, it's kind of like your story with, like, just padlocking. It's like, no, she's not getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, the thing is, vampires and zombies are very much a part of the medieval culture as they are today. As far back as the 11th century, many believed corpses would claw their way back up through the ground and emerge as blood-sucking monsters. That was partially due to the amount of infectious diseases like cholera around the time. It mostly comes from people not understanding how diseases spread.
Right, and everybody just assumed, like, it's a vampire coming in and taking your life.
Yeah, and, this is it's like every, like, 5 to 10 years, they find another one of these, like, grave sites where you have all these, like, fucked up ways the bodies are distributed. So, for example, in 2014, archaeologists in the village of Drusko, 130 miles away, found 6 skeletons buried in a similar manner in a 400-year-old cemetery. Sickles were found pressed against the throats of an adult man who was between 35 to 44 years old and an adult woman around 35 to 39. So,
wow.
It's cool, and like the pictures are great because you can see the sickle, and it's like, oh yeah, no, that's definitely like that's a fuck you.
Yeah, it's definitely got the feeling of somebody standing over the grave going, "Yeah, try it now, motherfucker."
Yeah, and it's just really interesting, like, because I do want to talk about vampires. I talk about vampires in my class, but when we cover vampires in my class, I talk about like how the line between living and dead was always kind of gray for a long period of time because people would fucking wake up in a grave and they had to install bells. So if you were trapped in a grave, you rang the bell to let them know, hey, please dig me up.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. It's fascinating stuff. So stuff like this, I just absolutely adore it.
Yeah, I feel like we should just do one in general about the undead.
Yeah, or even like the line between living and dead throughout history.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
like that idea.
Yeah, like it's specifically with drowning, because before we like developed this idea of like first aid and resuscitation and stuff, like people who were drowned, they would appear dead and then they would like literally kind of wake up later.
Come back. Yeah. Man, I feel bad for witches that did that. Yeah. Also, I'm just going to throw this out there. To the archaeologists discovering these grave sites, please don't move the sickles.
I'm trying to see if I can get a photo of the padlock on the toe. Because that's just one of my favorite details in this thing. And unfortunately, like, they don't have a photo of that particular, but, like, they have a full body photo. And, like, if you zoom in enough, you can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, were you going to say something?
I mean, I was going to say I'm not, superstitious, but, you find something like that, don't chance it by fucking with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like, look, I don't know what genre of film I'm living in, and I don't really want to find out. Because, like, if it does happen to be a horror movie, I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna die. That's a given. I'm gonna be like what's his name from the Scream movies that knew all about the horror movies and died in the second one?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be that guy.
Jamie Kennedy. That's not his character name. That's the actor. But
yeah, I'm gonna be the Jamie Kennedy character. I'm gonna be the one that dies. So yeah, well that's fun. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on the padlock around the toe. That's the more. I think they buried the lead there. The padlock on the toe.
And someone in the comments is like, I really wish they would have showed that.
Yeah.
Maybe just their kink. The sickle and padlock play.
Ooh, man. Can you buy that at like Hot Topic or something?
Probably.
Oh boy. Well, I've got another one. This is my last one for the night. And here's the thing. I had 2 articles about this. And I went with the more sensationalistic article from a website called, and I've never heard of this. I got this from Dusty. Anomalien. Anomalien. Okay, there we go. Anomalien.com. Astronomers have discovered 2 large domed objects on the Earth's satellite. There are several theories about the population of the moon by intelligent beings. Some researchers believe that people already live and work on the Earth's satellite. Earth, lowercase here. Now it is reported that about the discovered abandoned settlement between 2 craters, Paracelsus and Aitken? I don't know. Alas, there is little to make out in the photographs, but several dozen ufologists and astronomers are sure that there is a dome structure that reflects light, which is why it is hard to see in the photographs. Okay. This looks like a golf ball in a crater in a sand trap on a golf course. Now, I'm going to post a link to this in the host chat, if you don't mind. And I would like for y'all to take a look at these photographs with me.
Look at these photographs.
God damn it. All right, there we go.
You just got nickelbacked.
Yeah, I did get nickel-backed. Ugh. So, if you'll take a look at these. Now, they're saying you can find all these photos. This is on Wikimedia. This is not the NASA website like they want you to believe. But
This looks like something my wife would watch on Dr. Pimple Popper.
Mike, give me your thoughts. As the resident scienceologist.
It looks like someone's ingrown hair.
Yeah, that's a golf ball on a
In a sand trap.
in a sandbox. Mm-hmm. That totally looks like a golf ball.
And this is supposed to be academic science has confirmed the presence of two, according to some sources.
So
three.
the thing on the right is supposed to be the thing on the left.
Yeah.
That's quite the stretch.
Ain't it though?
I mean,
I like
the thing on the left.
Academic science has confirmed, as opposed to pop science.
Or playground science.
The thing on the left is obviously not transparent.
Yes.
It has a shadow on itself.
Yes.
Very much unlike a glass dome.
Yes. It kind of looks like someone buried Epcot like Spaceship Earth.
Now, Kevin, I'm looking at this article, and you've kind of buried the lead here because there are two very interesting paragraphs at the end of the article that I think should be read. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you need to read those to us.
Okay, the last two?
Yes.
The structure, the one that starts with the structures?
Yes.
The structures, which were spotted on NASA's maps, were supposedly made by a species of aliens called, quote, Greys, which are supposedly a race of superintelligent extraterrestrials, which like the dark. This is the reason they built the dome-like structures so they can live underground in the dark. Quote, there is an alien species who like the darkness so much they genetically changed themselves to have sunglasses, second eyelids cover their eyes at will, the Greys, says prominent alien hunter Scott C. Waring.
No, I love that quote because that quote sounds like it went through Google Translate a couple of times.
It really, really does. Do you see why I chose this article as opposed to the one that's like, hey, that looks like a dome? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you have it, folks. The Greys are have genetically altered themselves to be permanently cool.
Damn it.
Yes.
They wear their sunglasses at night so they can.
I love that they love darkness so much they live underground in darkness with sunglasses.
But they don't describe them wearing chokers and My Chemical Romance shirts.
Oh yeah, no. These guys are old school. They're wearing the Cure. They got like it's not actually they're not actually like light gray. It's just pancake makeup. They're wearing corpse paint.
You know, they love Disintegration, the album, and Disintegrating People.
Yes. Yes, they are really into Bors. What was the name of that one friggin' by the group Varg Vikernes was a member of? What was it?
Shit.
Borstrom. Yeah. Borsum. That was it. Borsum. Yeah.
It's some orc or Elvis shit, like all the other metal.
Yeah, some crazy bullshit. So that's my second one. God, that just I guess I didn't really read those last paragraphs there.
Yeah, because I thought you were going to get to that because those last two paragraphs are incredible.
My bad. Next time I'll be more thorough.
You got to really look for that bullshit, man.
I really got to look for the bullshit better. I'm sorry, I'm out of practice. It's been a couple weeks. Mike, what have you got for your second one?
We did my second one.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah,
Yep.
it was the
I think you did a third one, dude.
Did I?
the UFOs.
Oh. Okay. Shit.
That's what I was supposed to have 2 or 3, including the local.
Well, it's okay. David, what have you got anything else, or are we good to move on to
Yeah, I think we're good. to
Okay.
move on.
Okay. Well, before we go on to like questions and X and all that stuff, some got posted in our Discord, which if you've not joined the Discord,
Shame on you.
You really need to, because David posted something that just broke my fucking brain.
Oh, okay, good. We're going to talk about this.
Yeah, we've got to. So David found this image, and it goes along with the flat Earth theory. All right? This is the Great Ice Ball Earth theory. And this is saying that the Earth is flat, but it is flat on a giant ice ball with other hollows in it where other Earths are.
Let's have Mike try to describe what this thing is.
Mike, go in there to the show.
You showed me earlier.
Yeah.
So
I love that it says the Great Ice Ball parentheses possibly hollow.
So I mean, it's the slightly convex Earth.
Yes.
Because Earth is now no longer flat because it is on a giant ice sphere.
Now, I showed this and brought this up to Dusty, and she made a very great observation about this. It's like they're gradually working their way up to admitting it's round, but it's got to be flat-ish on a round thing.
So, and my thoughts were, it says possibly hollow. So that means inside the giant ice flat Earth could be a slightly smaller giant ice ball with flat Earths on it. And you keep going down smaller and smaller, just concentric ice balls with flat Earths on it until you get down to one that's a flat Earth, that's a sphere that's the size of the Earth.
Are you saying we're living inside the ice sphere?
No, because obviously these smart people have said we are on the outside of it.
Of course, my bad. My question, and this is kind of important, there's an insert that says, sun melts a, quote, pond in the ice ball, traditional flat Earth surrounded by an ice wall. How does the sun work here?
It melts it, obviously.
Yeah, but
it's like a magnifying glass. It's like a magnifying glass. You know?
Is it?
Yeah, why not?
But how does nighttime or not? Thank you for that. Here, my question is, what if it is hollow and we're living on the interior of the thing, like in Kong?
That would be cool.
Or what if the Great Ice Ball is just chock full of Nazis?
That's the worst coffee ever. Chock full of Nazis.
Oh God.
Das ist gut, no?
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Chock full of Nazis.
God. I love that Sam in the Discord said, I fucking hate that I've seen that before.
What I like is that this is going to trigger anyone with tryptophobia because of all the little duplicate, alternate Earths.
Yeah, if you can't look at a Lotus seed pod, do not look at this. And I tried to look it up, and all I found was actual science about the actual snowball Earth when the entire planet froze.
I feel like this has got to be a trolling thing.
It kind of feels like something somebody posted in X.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling like.
Yeah. Speaking of, before we get to questions, David, can X please give it to us?
Yes, I've got one for you.
Only if you're good.
Only if I'm good, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so, Kevin, I think you've earned it. Kevin can have a little X as a treat sometimes.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so the subject of this anonymous post is, why do we dream? I'm going to read the post, but I want you to know that the associated image is a woman taking a selfie in a gym.
For the dream.
No, the photo has nothing to do with the context of the post. It's just they posted a photo of a woman taking a selfie in a gym.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I figure I'd put that out there. Okay.
Thank you.
So, subject of the post is, why do we dream? Here's the post. It's not to store short-term memory in the long-term memory. That does not make sense. I never dream about my work or my computer or phone. It also not to prepare yourself for future scenarios, unless your brain is trying to protect you from nonsensical scenarios. Fact is, we don't know why we dream, yet we do it for hours every day, in all caps. Anyone who claims to know why we are here needs to shut the fuck up. You don't even know why you dream. A lot of people have zero imagination, but when they go to sleep, they suddenly become storytellers. The most R-word person can come up with a dream story that is at least semi-interesting. This proves they are not coming up with the story/dream themselves. Here's how dreams work. Oh, I'm sorry. Here. Yeah. Here's how
he tells us.
Yeah, here's how fucking dreams work. That's how he states it. Okay, start dreaming about a bridge. WTF do bridges do? They collapse. Start worrying about collapsing bridge. Bridge collapses. Big surprise! In the dream world, you have no brain, therefore every thought is direct and causes physical effects. The dream world is fucking real. You have zero proof it isn't. All your theories about dreaming are unprovable, and they are just unlikely.
All your base are belong to us,
right? It's a mess. It's a mess of a post, but I love it.
That is a hot mess.
Yeah. So I like his explanation about how dreams work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's trying to get at like manifestation. Like rewriting reality through dreams, but he's also saying something about like how people aren't actually having dreams themselves, but maybe they're part of a collective unconscious.
Then where did they come from in there? Something's got to come up with them, unless it's like the big corporate TV executive in the sky.
I just want to know what the dream world is, because he calls it the dream world. And in the dream world, you have no brain. Therefore, every thought is direct and causes physical effects. So is he saying that when someone is dreaming and they dream about a bridge collapse, they cause a bridge to collapse?
Are they saying the Mothman is a dream creature and we made the Tacoma Narrows, not Tacoma Narrows, but the Silver Bridge collapse?
I have no idea, man. This is a wild post, and I appreciate the juxtaposition of what is obviously brain vomit and the picture of a woman taking a selfie in a gym.
Oh, God, that's great.
And it's the confidence of it as well that I really appreciate.
Oh, yeah. It's just like giant balls being thrown at your face. Mike.
Yeah.
Dreams, how do they work?
I don't know. Magnets?
Magnets. Tell me there are some good comments.
I do have a couple. So here seems to be what seems to be a serious reply to this.
Okay.
Dreams do all kinds of things, but there's one function that I don't see spoken of very often that is quite important. Neurologically speaking, dreaming is about controlling signal-noise ratios. In awake mode, neural networks like ours learn when incoming data reinforces correct paths of the network. However, there is also a lesser global reinforcement effect. Though the signal gets stronger, so does the static. In dreaming mode, neural networks like ours generate random sense data signal to subtract from itself, counteracting the waking tendency to oversaturation with noise. The phenomena has been directly observed in artificial neural network models, and the human evidence is very suggestive. Prolonged sleep deprivation elevates mood, eventually leading to mania and hyperactivity, and then hallucinatory madness before total function collapse. A completely saturated network contains no information, carries no signal. Excessive sleep, conversely, is associated with things like lack of energy, spontaneous motivation, depression, and dulled perception.
Sure, why not?
Well,
I don't even know if I got all that.
Well, and I mean, there's some stuff in there that like makes sense. It's like using actual science, but applying it in like a pseudoscience way.
It's right. I think it's using science in a way that requires an adult.
And you feel like they've just touched science inappropriately?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and that's the thing is like, the the thing about the total function collapse with a lack of sleep and everything like that. Like, obviously, you can kind of enter a mania and everything like that. Like, there's science in there, but the way the science is applied is just trying to fit like a round peg in a triangular hole.
Very sus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've stayed up way too long before, and yeah, I
You
went
get loopy
as hell.
Yeah, you get funny though, funny loopy. Like that time we were in the other room talking about something. You made a noise, and I said, "Mike's brain is melted." I just hear Mike brain.
Yeah.
And that it just out of nowhere, it was freaking hilarious.
Well, I've got 2 more comments. Not as
good.
long as the other one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so dreams are a remaining connection with the immaterial world. It's why animals have them as well. It's why lucid dreams allow you to arbitrarily manifest and do whatever, something we used to be able to do in the perceived physical world ages ago, and why it's always so hard to keep the memory connection of the immaterial upon waking. A lot of people are using like parenthetical asides, and it's a pain in the ass to read those.
Yeah. Well, like this whole thing about we used to be able to do this, is this like back to Atlantis and us losing our psychic powers because we nailed raptors?
Probably.
Okay. Just wanted to get that in there. All right.
Okay,
Good
now
to
here's
know.
a person responding to someone who said something to the Mundukya Upanishad, but which is an Indian or a Hindu text. But here's his reply. This is what makes the most sense to me. Dreams are your soul leaving your body during deep sleep. Read detachment from the physical realm and exploring the spiritual realm. You see a combination of both earthly and unearthly things when dreaming, because even though your soul is in this otherworldly place, you are still tethered to your body, so some of that what you experience is still grounded in that physical space. So it's like Doctor Strange shit.
So, like going into the astral plane.
Yeah.
Like Teleran Riyadh from the Wheel of Time.
Well, and here's the thing. If you're going to go into the astral plane, you need to prepare for it, so bring some Astral Glide.
Well, if you're going into the astral plane, be sure to note where the astral exits are at all times in case of a water landing.
Don't go in through the outdoor.
Yes.
I'm making a bunch of anal jokes.
I get that, and I'm trying to move past it. Emotionally and realistically.
Yeah, so that's what I got from X. It's a weird one.
It's a weird one. That was I'm glad he just knows how dreams work, so we don't have to.
And then someone mentions REM, and I'm like, well, it's the end of the world as we know it.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah.
So there you go.
Night swimming deserves a quiet night. Okay, so we got some questions. And I want to get some opinions on this. First one's from Ghostforge, as usual. And I think this is interesting. Could the legend of Ragnarok and Fimbulwinter be a racial memory of the Ice Age?
I like it.
I think that's plausible.
Yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun. It's also like the biblical flood with Noah and the ark, and how it may connect to like Babylonian folklore and everything like that. It might be a cultural myth that has persisted.
Us dying because we fucked too loud. Yeah, I remember that.
That's weird.
No, you remember from the Anunnaki?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But what do you think, Mike? Do you feel like this could be like just legendary hand-downs from humanity during the Ice Age?
I mean, I'm sure all myth has some root in, something that happened.
Sure.
I mean, generally, people don't just pull that shit out of thin air.
Yeah,
And
that's
especially
fair.
the ones that stick around. They're handed down for a reason.
Yeah.
So I don't see why not.
Hey!
But it could also just been a really, really cold winter. Kind of like the Great Flood was probably just a, widespread but not worldwide flood.
Right. Like, I mean, seriously, I feel like the Great Deluge was glacial melting into low-lying areas that have been occupied between ice ages. Or during ice ages, you know?
I'm trying to remember if, like, I mixed up the flood with the dividing river from Moses. Did I mix those two up?
Nope.
Or
You
combine
got
them?
it. You got
okay.
it.
I'm a terrible
you
Christian.
Nope. Well, yes, but no. So, all right. Well, I'm glad and I firmly believe that that's possible. I don't see why that's not, you know.
I like it.
Yeah, same here. Good one, Ghost Forge. Thank you. Now, Sam has a question, and this is more our normal speed. Which cryptids are kinky motherfuckers?
I think we've had this question before, haven't we?
We've had which is the sexiest, but this is kinky.
Well, kinky is sexy.
Well, no. I mean, like, you know, there's the horny, and then there's the one that's into, like, the crazy shit.
It's one and the same to me.
Okay, that's fair. Well, Holly said Krampus, and I'm kind of inclined to agree with the whips and the basket and
The tongue.
Oh, well,
the tongue.
well, you know the Greys are into the butt stuff,
Yeah.
which, you know, I guess in today's day and age isn't really kinky anymore. It's kind of becoming vanilla.
Well,
Yeah.
at least chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
All the jokes.
Yeah. Well, Ghost Forge also says maybe the Jersey Devil or the Flatwoods Monster, because the Flatwoods Monster might be into breath play.
Mothman.
Mothman?
Yeah, Mothman.
He's really into bridge collapsing.
Well, it's certainly into screaming.
Yeah. Just you know,
Now, Dusty
CBT. Mothman's into CBT.
said CBT,
Yeah.
cognitive ball torture.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Cock and behavioral therapy.
Okay, good. Right. Well, Dusty said Spring-Heeled Jack, and I kind of agree that he's just more of a pervert.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, nothing
definitely.
particularly kinky. Like he disrobes women, but
Yeah.
He's a pervert and a sex pest.
Yes.
he's no worse than a Girls Gone Wild video producer.
Yeah. and
I
that's
would say
sad.
I would say he is, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair.
Well, I don't know. I guess
Those
it's probably a
dudes are
toss-up.
scumbags too. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I kind of feel like, I don't know. I really would go with Krampus, but like if I had to go with another one, I don't know, the Mantis Cuck.
well, now, which cryptid is into sounding? Because that's my vote.
Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna go with Bigfoot on a rainy Sunday.
I think Bigfoot's vanilla as hell.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, probably forceful. I don't know that he's like really into kink. Sure.
Probably wet and messy. Yeah, we're getting into some dark territory here.
Yeah, actually, I kind of feel like if anybody's into wet and messy, it's gonna be you know, the Loveland Frogs, Enrique himself. I mean, he's a frog. Goddamn. I'm gonna go with Enrique as the kinkiest cryptid. Actually, he's probably into like a wide range of stuff that we can't even talk about on the show. So there, that's it. Enrique is the kinkiest cryptid. Let's see. We've got one other question from Darth Plato. Again, from Flag for Content. What kind of cryptid is/was the queen, and why? Or even go in on the whole royal family.
Now, here's my question. Did something happen to her?
No.
Nope, she's fine.
Okay,
Everything's fine.
okay.
She's
Okay,
completely
the
fine.
queen's good.
Yep. Not remotely dead at all.
Just lightly dead.
Slightly.
Lightly.
She's mostly dead.
dead. Have fun storming the castle.
She's taking
Go
a
work.
nap.
It'll take a miracle. Yeah, she's run down the cut and enjoying the choir invisible. She is an ex-monarch. So, okay, that is a good question, though. Like, what kind of a cryptid is the royal family in general? I don't mean like the Munsters where everybody's a different thing. I mean, like, you know, they're all one something. Because you know what I'm saying.
No, I have no idea what you'd say.
Lizard people. Yep.
Lizard people. We're both big fans of the Y-Files on YouTube now. So
Yeah, I've been enjoying that.
yeah. And Hecklefish being the best thing on YouTube at the moment. So, but yeah, I'm going with the lizard people.
I'm going to go with homunculi.
So you're saying that Prince Charles came out fully formed but small?
Or at least every few months they like go and they take him and they add more mud and shit and straw and mold him into, a newer version to keep people,
Wait, I think you have golems and homunculi mixed up.
Oh, probably.
Maybe they're homunculi golems.
Yeah.
Yes. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. So they come out looking like themselves, but they just have to add mass every few months.
Mm-hmm. Or, take some away. Or, leave them in the water too long to get the wrinkles.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, does anybody else think the Queen looks like at the end she should have sounded like the mom from Throw Mama from the Train? Owen!
We can't play this podcast in Britain right now because they're still in mourning.
Whatever. Not all of them.
Yeah, I heard that it's basically shut down over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Mike, what kind of cryptid do you think they are?
Inbred?
Ooh.
Wait, no, that's the truth.
Yeah, no. We got something fun.
They're gingerbread people because they're bread.
Inbred.
Mm-hmm.
No, vampires. Why not?
That works.
Cash vampires. They suck the cash from the British people.
Again, that is truth and kind of hitting close, but I'll take it.
Yep.
I also would have accepted werewolves.
That's too cool for them.
Maybe. Okay, were salamanders.
Were homunculi.
At night, they turn into homunculi.
By day, they're British as fuck.
You don't get much more British. I am kind of looking forward to seeing the coronation when it happens. I'm not going to lie.
See Charles sit on the rock.
I want to see him sit on the rock. I want to see. Well, they're not going to show him get his head anointed, but
yeah, I heard that. I read a thing about there's a secret anointing ceremony.
I
that
read
nobody
about
it.
I read about it, and
with peasant
it's
blood?
basically. What's that?
They anoint them with peasant blood?
Probably. But I read about it, and basically it's considered holy, and that the peasants shouldn't see it.
Oh, don't let the peasants see.
We must not let the peasants see. The Church of England must remain mysterious. I don't know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the coronation just so I can see a man sit on a rock and have a hat put on him.
And he'll only be king for about 5 years before they take him out, so.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people were saying that this whole thing is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and it's like, he's 75.
Unless you're going to die pretty soon.
This is going to be a twice-in-a-lifetime thing for a lot of us, including me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see that man get put in the ground.
Well, we find out he's like his uncle and his great uncle, and like he's been working with the Nazis the whole time. Like the Nazis are back and he's working with them.
Oh yeah, no, great! It turns out he's working with the skinheads. And it's just we make bitchin' punk music.
I mean, have you seen his hands?
I heard about this.
Yeah. Part of why I think he might be homunculi.
Well, have you heard what Henry Zabrowski on last podcast had started calling him? Chucky Sausage Fingers.
I mean, how does such an old and wrinkly man have such poofy? Wow, those things are so fat.
I'm gonna look that up.
He tied rubber bands around his wrist.
Here, I'm gonna put it in the host talk.
Maybe he's like trying to do like how you get like a medical glove and you blow into it like to make a little poofy hand.
I mean, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, maybe he's doing that with his skin folds.
Holy God! What the fuck?
Yeah, no, his hands are like inflated.
He's got clown hands.
Okay,
it's
so
like
now,
what Kurt got in the 2009 Star Trek.
Now, see, I have a terrible, terrible question for you here.
Okay.
Okay, so we've seen Prince Charles's baloney hand. Okay.
Yes.
Do we recall Mitch McConnell's necrosis hand? When Mitch McConnell had that like purple, blackened, shriveled hand going on.
Oh, Lich Finger.
Yeah, lich finger. So
Yeah.
so here's the question. You have to have one of their fingers in your mouth. You can have Prince Charles's dog
God.
finger or Mitch
I'm going to go
McConnell's
for the
lich
sausage
finger.
fingers because I can pretend it's a Vienna sausage. God, I mean, look at the ring on his pinky.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like it's like somebody just inflated baby hands and attached them to a man.
Now, I want our listeners to comment when they hear this episode which finger they would put in their mouth. They have to do it. Like, gun to your head. You have to put
Yeah.
one of their fingers in your mouth. Do you
Lich
go for
finger or
finger
sausage
lich finger?
hands?
Yeah, it'd have to be sausage finger because lich finger would just leave like bits in your mouth.
My God,
Again, it was a horrible
man.
question.
this is so like I
Gross.
didn't realize it was. Ugh.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that is
pretty
like
bad.
late stage diabetes. You about to die, son.
It looks like Chucky's hand from Child's Play.
You're right. Now the thing is, Mike, I looked up King Charlie sausage mitts, and it actually came up with a close up from this picture.
Yeah.
And it is like way worse up close without him because it just looks like somebody put a baby in a suit.
Right, but the baby also is very wrinkly as well, which is very disturbing.
Yeah, it's like his face is wrinkly, but the hands are so puffy and smooth. It's like this is not the same. He stole those hands from someone.
Yes.
I don't know who, but he stole them.
Well, probably from a baby. Like a big
Yeah,
baby.
probably a baby.
There's an article that just
No,
says
those would be a big baby.
there's an article that just
Wait a minute.
says what's wrong with them damn fingers.
Wait a minute. He is a homunculus.
He is. He's. Oh
That's
God.
the hands of a homunculus.
Well, here's the thing. Lizards aren't naturally supposed to be very moist, so I think it's just collected water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's an article in the New York Post. Butcher trolls King Charles by selling his, quote, sausage fingers. And there's doctors speculate over the cause of King Charles' swollen sausage fingers.
It's just, I'm looking at this photo of him with his little tiny stubby little fingers like together, and it's like, oh, they're so precious.
Yeah, it's like Dr. Evil gone wrong.
Yeah, it's like if you took Mini-Me's fingers and put them on Dr. Evil.
I love this. Okay. Dr. Gareth Nye, senior lecturer at the University of Chester, chimed in on what could actually be going on with the King's bright red hot dogs. Oh, man. Edema or fluid retention is the most likely. So, yeah, it is water.
We're not going to be doing very well in Britain right now, at least with the royal family.
Yeah, well, if they're listening to us, good on them. But
We are not amused. Oh, wait, no, she's dead.
she's yes. I'm not amused. There.
Was she ever amused?
Didn't she do some cameos in movies in the later years?
Don't know.
I don't know. I don't
She
watch
liked
a lot of
horses.
movies. I don't watch the kind of movies that the Queen of England would have appeared in.
Well, those movies had, people in blackface. So,
Ooh, so Australian films.
yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. Now that we've offended the entire Commonwealth, I guess it's time to end. Thank you, everyone, for listening and for your patience. We're all on the mend. So, yeah, that'll be great. David, what have we got coming next week? Are we tackling your subject?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to get the episode in line. I know that, what was it, Tuesday, we recorded a Supernatural Sources where we kind of outlined some stuff going on.
And that'll be going up this weekend. So
Yeah, so one thing I want to talk about is that, I tend to do multi-parters because that's just the way I am. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to try to do, consecutive multi-parters anymore. It's
Okay.
come back and revisit something, so.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good idea. And I've got a few ideas, and there's one idea that Mike gave me a while back, and I completely forgot about, and I want to do this. I want to talk about the field ufology, specifically the fact that all of them hate each other. Because I just think that'd be kind of fun. So, anyway, so yeah, we'll be dealing with your episode next week, and then after that, another Weekend Weird, and then we'll come to mine about Mr. Ingo Swan, which, if you don't know who he is, you're gonna find out. So, that being said, again, thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out everything related to the podcast on supernatpod.rocks and find us on Twitter at supernatpod. David is on Twitter at HPComic, HPKOMIC, and you can find a link to everything he does there. Mike is here every week with us when he is not dying of the plague.
Well, hopefully that's not again.
Yeah, hope
soon.
to. Yeah, no. Yeah,
I wasn't dying. It was very tolerable.
Yeah. So, anyway, thanks again, and we will see you guys next week. So until then, stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye.
Have a nice day.
Or don't. See if we care.
I do care.
You do?
Somewhat.
Are they going to bury the queen with her horses?
I thought they were going to bury her with her corgis.
I thought that too.
Just dumping a bunch of corgis into a tomb.
Just no dirt, just nothing but corgis.